Hey guys, and do we have a treat for you today? Oh yes we do, we have a fellow duck, Mr. Poison Ducky, leading a rather elite and badass high elf force up against the Glorious Feeder and the Greenskins. Now Glorious Feeder is a very talented player, seen him quite a bit on quick battles and so forth, so he's certainly no joke. And Poison Ducky did send in a message as he sent this replay in that he actually thinks High Elf Elite Infantry can fare relatively well in this matchup, so we'll have to see how it does perform. And as you can see, his build is a rather small and kind of tight formation to try and get the most as possible out of these elite units working in unison. So guarding the flanks and the rear though, we do have some silver helms. These are the fast mobile units. They do have shields, so they can obviously block and deal with enemy skirmish cav as much as possible. Also looking to fend off such cavalry is the double archer in the central pocket and 2 spearmen to protect them. But the units we're all really interested in seeing today do come in the frontline force. We have double Phoenix Guard guarding the flanks of this frontline battle line, and then double Sword Masters of Hoef being absolute gangster samurai warriors as always. I love the way they hold their swords in preparation for glorious conquest and slaughter. We do 2 spellcasters today, a Mage of Life down the ground with Earthblood, of course pivotal when coming in with such elite forces, but up in the sky we have an Archmage of Death Magic with Spirit Leech and Fata Buna, as well as of course the sneakiest of all armor. I believe it's called the Armor of Stars or something. Yeah, Armor of Stars is in fact the name. Book of Hoef and Arcane Conduit. Rather small, tight, compact formation. Interested to see how this does work today, particularly up against the enemy skirmish, which Greenskins are currently, at least in the current meta, really well known for. For the Greenskins, we have the Teeth Robbers in the back, ranging around Goblin Wolf Rider chariots. Goblin Wolf Riders and the Death Creepers will be making up the front line of this skirmish corps. And over on the far left-hand side, we have Dirkit Squigs, regiment around Night Goblin Squighoppers, waiting in the wings of the forest. For the main battle line, we have Gobbos, mixing with some Orc Boys in the front line, so just down and dirty basic infantry troops, backed up by some Night Goblins, and I believe these are going to be ones with Fanatics, looking to try to saturate on top of the front line before bringing the pain with those Wrecking Balls. In the back, we do have a unit of Black Orcs, the baddest and most elite of the Greenskin forces here today. We have some nasty Skulkers backing them up, a Goblin Big Boss, as well as a Goblin Great Shaman on a Spider. This is actually quite common in the meta up against High Elves, who do tend to struggle up against such large threats. It's coming in with Don't Even Try It, Itchy Nuisance, Vindictive Glare, and Sneaky Stabbing. We have some Orc Boar Boys as well, guarding the flanks alongside some Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers, and I'm pretty excited to delve into this one and see how it does indeed kind of play out here today. So without further ado, let's get this rumbling. I love it that we've got these kind of fallen ruins of elven monoliths and so forth on the map today. It really does make it quite thematic. Lovely little rainbow in the distance as well. So the High Elves really are trying to defend their home turf, and they're going to be moving up here with their forces, using the kind of terrain, the woods, the pond here and so forth, to really help guard their flanks where possible. We're going to see a first spell come down. I think it's actually Fata Buna. It's a spell I haven't seen in so long, and we actually have seen it twice now in 2 replays. If you checked out yesterday's video, you'll see it get used there as well. It's going to do some pretty damn effective work, and it's not a bad idea whatsoever, trying to clear off the Black Orcs as quickly as possible so that they can't help deal with the Sword Masters and the Phoenix Guard. Lovely little Vindictive Glare comes down. Archmage tried to swerve out of the way, but unfortunately they were also hit by a Sneaky Stabbings, lowering their armor, and they really got pounded quite bad there by that overcast Vindictive Glare. The Greenskin forces looking for a big fat surround. We can see Skirmish Cavalry are on the back, but unfortunately can only poke down Silver Helms at the moment. Teeth Robbers as well as Dirkit Squigs looking to get into the enemy back line at all opportunities. It looks like the glorious little Teeth Robbers here are going to go straight in, just charge through the enemy back line, and on top of those archers, instantly shutting them down, helping protect the Orc Boar Boys, who are looking to get in a little bit of a fight with the Silver Helms now. A bit of missed micromanagement here by Poison Ducky. He's going to see it just last second and counter charge in. That is crucial. You need your Silver Helms to get that charge bonus. Sneaky Stabbing goes down on the Orc Boar Boys though. That should enable them to chew through the Silver Helms rather effectively. We do see an Earthblood go down as well as an Itchy Nuisance. Itchy Nuisance is lowering the melee attack of the Sword Masters, but they care very little. They are cleaving their way through the Orc Boys right now, as yet another Vindictive Glare goes right up the rear end there of the Archmage on her Eagle. We do have the Fanatics swirling and twirling their balls of death through the Swords Masters line, doing some really nice work. Despite that, Sword Masters will quite easily decapitate these Orc Boys, who are currently being buffed up by the War. Phoenix Guard are holding down the flanks. You can see more Lunatics have been spread along the bow lines, doing some decent damage to Silver Helms, some friendly fire as well. But hey, killing Silver Helms for the kind of cost of some Forest Goblin Spider Riders is always a good trade. Now, Teeth Robbers have been stuck and pinned in by Silver Helms with only Night Goblins for support, so that is probably a dead unit of Chariots. Black Orcs do get buffed up by Sneaky Stabbings, but are struggling up against the Sword Masters of Hoef here. The Archmage does delve down. It helps finish off some Orc Boar Boys, but unfortunately it's now getting pinned in by the Goblin Great Shaman, and this is really bad news. The big old eagle does turn around and try to peck at the eyes of the Goblin Great Shaman's mount, but luckily for spiders, they have multiple eyes, so you can stab one. They've got a load more backups and spares. Archmage does get hit by Don't Even Try, and is actually starting to get forced off the battlefield right now. What the Greenskin player needs to do is detach one of these units to stalk and hunt the Archmage off the edge of the map, I should say, constantly applying that pressure and damage. Otherwise, she could come back and get healed up by Earthblood. A load of archer shots are coming in at that Goblin Great Shaman. Phoenix Guard doing a decent job supported by the Silver Helms. Nasty Skulkers, though, are starting to scheme and skulk their way into the back line. They're actually wavering. I don't even know what they're wavering from. I suppose it's the Phoenix Guard's presence and that fear they bring to the table. They've been, in conjunction with the Silver Helms, able to shatter the Orc Boar Boys on this left-hand flank and should be able to help secure the archers, at least for a time being. Swordmasters did seem to go down. I mean, 78 kills isn't too shabby. Neither is 112, but it is the Phoenix Guard who are the more stalwart of the two units, holding the line a little while longer. Earthblood does go down, buffing up all these units. Archers do get hit by an itchy nuisance, but hey, that long-range damage is really going to start to stack up on the Goblin Great Shaman, down to 3.7 damage or HP at the moment. Archmage was dealt with and forced off for good, so the forces of the High Elves do lack leadership. We actually have two units of Spearmen over here. Not 100% sure what they've been doing all day. They've not been in the main fight, so probably just protecting the back lines. And now about to get jumped by Durkit Squigs and Nasty Skulkers and a unit of Goblins. That can become quite a messy fight for them over on that far side. Black Orcs, despite the fact they got hit by a Fated unit early on, are doing a really fantastic job. Look at these guys go with those axes. They're trying their best. Phoenix Guard twirling those halberds and arcs of death. Look at that guy. Oh my god. Some awesome attack animations these guys do come in. And that's something Creative Assembly do really good in all the Total War Warhammer games, is when you actually take the time to zoom in and appreciate the looks, designs of the units and the animations, it really is quite a beautiful sight to behold. Phoenix Guard are unfortunately getting kited a little bit. Luckily for them, the Skirmish Cav has used up the majority of its ammunition. Archers are starting to get forced off as well. More Fanatics are swirling and twirling their maniacal dance of death here through the Phoenix Guard. I've seen some people dance like this in clubs before. It's really bizarre. And do some decent damage there to the Phoenix Guard. But Earthblood is going to keep them hopped up. Archers as well are getting a slightly okay position. They are surrounded by a lot of enemies. And Silver Helms are starting to get dragged down here, which isn't good news for them. But both units of Phoenix Guard are holding firm. And it looks like the Black Orcs have finally been dealt with. Luckily, though, for the forces of the Greenskins, that Goblin Great Shaman is still alive and relatively healthy. We have some Swordmasters rally, only 6 of them though. Big fight going down on this flank. It would seem like the Spearmen have held the line relatively well, beating back Gobbos, beating back the Orc Boar Boys, beating back the Nasty Skulkers, though we do have some more Night Goblins moving forward. I wonder if they've got their Fanatics up and ready. So now, to get your Fanatics cast, you actually have to be in combat, which is a big nerf for them, but oh my god, the sandwich of death with nowhere to run. The Fanatics come into a load of friendly fire as well as enemy fire. Way more damage to the enemy though. But that was insane. Up to 71 kills now on this unit of Night Goblins. Archers have stabilised in the central pocket. The double Phoenix Guard have been a really good anchor for this high elf build at the moment, protecting the mage, protecting the remaining archer units, who are starting to deal pretty good work to the Goblin Great Shaman. Now, the Greenskin player needs to get aggressive here, get a nice surrounding, and just flood in from all angles. Break off the archers, break off the mage, and then you have to slowly grind out the Phoenix Guard, as is the only way. Now, a load of Greenskin forces are in mass exodus right now. Balance power slightly in favour of the High Elf forces, despite the fact they don't have a Lord at the moment. Night Goblins, as well as the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, just going to make sure they can shatter all these troops. This is some good play here by the Greenskin player. It buys him time to try to rally the rest of his forces, and hopefully get some more Winds of Magic as well for those Vindictive Glares in the later stages of the game. We still have a Goblin Big Boss left alive. Here's, of course, on the greatest mount of all, a glorious wolf, as he does a bound across the battlefield, looking to feast upon some little snackos here, some little elf snackos, and these guys will be forced off the battlefield relatively soon. Good play so far by both players. It is going to come down to the wire, I feel. We still have the Death Creepers with some ammunition, just one volley though, and a lot of these Greenskin forces don't look like they're going to be coming back. Nasty Skulkers have returned, which could prove way more crucial than you'd expect, due to the fact they have smoke bombs. They can pin in units who don't want to be in combat. Phoenix Guard being used just to chase off the Goblins at the moment, and it's going to be a nice start to kind of become a surround here for the Greenskin forces. Goblin Big Boss is on a return path here, and it looks like the Goblin Great Shaman is using some of its Vindictive Glares up, aiming at those Phoenix Guard. Lovely counter punch though by Poison Ducky, reacting quickly, coming in with that Earthblood to heal up these troops. Goblin Great Shaman's done a pretty good job all day. He's really going to have to do some nice work in the later stages of this game, though. So let's fast forward a little bit, just as the surround does start to come in before the final stand and the final scrap, no doubt. And in comes yet another Vindictive Glare, going down the line on the Phoenix Guard, catching quite a few models, actually, up to only 31 kills, though. But hey, HP damage is damage at the end of the day. Sneaky Stabbings went down on the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, but they simply broke off. And having so many skirmish carriers left in the later stages of the game is really bad when your opponent has a load of anti-large troops. War has been popped, increasing the stats of all of these guys, and in come the Hero Core, Goblin Big Boss, as well as the Goblin Great Shaman, certainly going to be aiming there for the Mage of Life. He's been hit by, they need to stab him. Big Fat Itchy Nuisance does go down, learning the Phoenix Guard stats quite heavily as well. It's really good news for the forces of the Greenskins. We do have Nasty Skulkers on the approach. Everywhere else, though, Greenskin forces are in absolute disarray, fleeing before the might and vengeful wrath of the High Elves. We are going to see a Smoke Bomb come down, and Itchy Nuisance comes down. Loads of good stuff for the Greenskins. That Goblin Great Shaman's going to move out of danger, rotate around, and come back into the fray once more. Major Life, though, still going strong at the moment. Phoenix Guard doing a decent job. Decent job. This unit is getting a little bit beat up. It has kind of been focused down for the most part. We're going to get yet another Vindictive Glare come in, do some decent work. Up to 43 kills is the mighty Goblin Great Shaman now. Golden Wolf Riders do charge in once more. This unit of Phoenix Guard still has 40 models, despite only having just over 1,000 HP. 103 kills on them. The other unit, though, 198. And they want to bring that tally to 200 with the slaughter of the Goblin Great Shaman, whose leadership is really starting to waver right now. He's going for that assassination attempt, but the mage says, no, you shall not pass. And does get slapped for her efforts there, down to the ground into the mud. But she shall rise stronger than ever, and it is a Pyrrhic victory here for the forces of the High Elves. Well played to Poison Ducky, well played to Glorious Feeder. Always good to see these two guys in action, and that was a very close game. And I do kind of agree with Poison Ducky. Maybe going Elite Infantry in this matchup is the way to go if you can handle the Skirmish Cav. Now, there wasn't the standard ridiculous amounts of Skirmish Cav today from the Greenskins, but there were still 3 units plus the Chariots as well. And I think Poison Ducky dealt with them relatively well, using his Silver Helms to pin in the enemy at the right times. Phoenix Guards were really standouts to me. I think their damage dealt and damage value is going to be pretty insane across the board, even more so than the Swordmasters, who did a decent job, but unfortunately were conditioned to a lot of bowfire, cycle charging, and isolations from Glorious Feeder. We will get into the damage dealt and damage value of all of these units in just a second, but if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that big juicy thumbs up button, subscribe as well for more glorious Total War Warhammer content into the future, and comment down below what you thought of the battle. If you'd like to see your own replays on the channel, there are links down below in the description. One to my Patreon, where you can support the channel financially, and one as well to my Discord, where you can submit replays, just like Poison Ducky did here today. Get involved with tournaments, events, live streams I host, keep up to date with the channel, keep up to date with me, and chill out with a big old community of over 700 people in that Discord now, I think, which is certainly some pretty wild stuff, so feel free to come join and hang out. As for the Poison Ducky here, the Archmage of Death, 544 damage value, not fantastic. Now, I do like seeing people use their Archmages aggressively, but unfortunately sometimes you pay the price, and she did get a nice Fetid unit in the early stages on that unit of Blackhawks, which, despite having so much pressure put on it, performed really well. And unfortunately, she did get picked off there and driven away by good micromanagement from Glorious Feeder. Major Life was used really well just to heal up those elite troops. It makes absolute sense to bring her today, even going with the double caster. And she did rally those forces around her in the later stages of the game, and probably gave some pretty good rhetoric, pretty good battle speeches to those Phoenix Guard to keep them fighting. Swordmasters did okay. 700 damage value and 644, but hey, they cleared out a lot of chaff with 112 and 78 kills apiece. They really did get hammered down, unfortunately, by fanatics, spells, and all that kind of nastiness. Whereas that did, although in turn, allow the Phoenix Guard to really shine. 111 kills, 207 kills, very good stuff from both of them there. Damage dealt was 10k and 17k, which is wild. 1.3 damage value and 1.8 real standouts today, relatively healthy as well in the later stages of the game. Now, the Archers did a really good job. Despite having a small force, Poison Ducky kept that build tight, kept them protected, allowed them to rain fire down on key targets of the enemy, particularly that Goblin Great Shaman. 840 and 1,349 damage value apiece is really solid work. And likewise, the Silver Helms, hey, it's not going to be the best damage value ever. 600 damage value, 700, 900, but it's not bad, and they're able to pin in troops, allowing the Phoenix Guard to really shine, because that is a big problem with High Elves in general, is pinning in enemies. Normally you have to rely on nets and so so forth. But hey, bringing those mid-tier, cheap-ish cavalry can work wonders. As the Glorious Feeder, I think he did a really good job with his Goblin Great Shaman here. 2.6k damage value is very nice. Just shy of 200 on the Goblin Big Boss, though there was some nice uses of his sneaky stab-ins. And across the board, the infantry performed okay. I mean, the Fanatics did really good. 920 and 823 damage value. Very impressive by those guys. The Blackhawks still got just shy of 1,200 damage value, despite having their HP nearly halved from that Fated unit in the early stages of the game. And the fact they were up against some more elite sword masters there. However, the Itchy Nuisance did help them out quite considerably. The skirmish didn't do too amazing, at least from the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. The Boar Boys as well just lacked the punch to deal with those Phoenix Guards, likewise the Dirkit Squigs. And the skirmish cavalry did pretty solid. 700 damage value, 769, 598, not too bad. Teeth Robbers unfortunately not having their best battle today. And guys, hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, peace, peace, and as always, stay awesome.